Alright, so now that the audio quality is running smoothly, let's get on with day 16 to 18 of the G1 Climax. Now, this is a great stretch of the G1 as we're nearing to the finals. So after this video, I'm going to go ahead and watch the day 19 of the G1 finals, and hopefully I can finish tomorrow and get that review out to you guys. But without further ado, let's get on with the G1 days 16 to 18. So, in day 16, it's back to the B block. And we have Kenny Omega defeating Katsuhiko Nakajima. This is a very good match. Yeah, really good back and forth interactions between Nakajima and Omega. Omega ended up going over with the One Ring Angel, as he is right up there with the rest of the guys. Elgin and Shibata in second place at this point. And it's good to see Nakajima with another really good performance. Haven't seen a bad performance from Nakajima at all. I mean, he did have a horrible match, but that was with Toru Yano, so it's not his fault. Yano just sucks. Then we move on from Evil to Evil defeating Toru Yano. Match sucked, so glad Evil got the win. But moving on. Tetsuya Naito defeated Yoshihashi. It was a really good match from these guys. The second best match of the night. These guys have really good chemistry together. Naito working over the shoulder of Yoshihashi, which was taped. He'd often work over the knee at times. Yoshihashi doing a really good job of selling. He made his usual comeback, but at the end, Naito ends up putting him away with Destino. Really love this match. Naito over as usual with the crowd. And Yoshihashi, he's doing his thing. So we go from that match to the co-main event. Katsuyori Shibata defeating Yuji Nagata. This match was disappointing. I was expecting more from this match. That they might try to surpass what they did at Dominion. But we got a good match. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible. It was just good. Wasn't as good as, I don't think it was even as good as the Wrestling Dontaku match for the Never Openweight Championship. Speaking of the Never Openweight Championship, did they retire that championship, or I'm not sure, because I haven't seen Shibata walk out with that belt in any of the days that he's been wrestling in the G1. So if anybody knows what's up with that, I'd like to know. So yeah, Shibata puts him away with the sleeper hold, penalty kick combination for the 3 count. And from that, we go on to the main event of day 16. Unbreakable Michael Elgin versus Tomoaki Honma. Now this was a great match between these two. Elgin just being Elgin. Honma, you know he's gonna lose, but he still goes out there and he puts on the best match possible. That is the great thing about Tomoaki Honma. Like, he doesn't even care that he's gonna job. He's like, I'm gonna give these fans the best performance I can. Hey, shout out to Tomoaki Homa. Hey, salute, man. You always care about the fans, and you're always willing to put on the greatest match possible, even if you're gonna lose. And I really like that about him. He had these great counters, good back and forth. But at the end, Elgin would hit this barrage of offense where he would hit like a deadlift falcon arrow from the second rope, hit a buckle bomb, then an Elgin bomb for the 3 count. So Elgin, he ends up being second place in the standings at that point in time. So overall, day 16, I really loved day 16. Only match you should Only match that was trash was Evil and Yano. Other than that, I'm going to give day 16 a solid 8 out of 10. Just great action. Most of these matches were fun to watch. So moving on from that, we go from day 16 to day 17. And holy shit, day 17 was insane. So we start off with a good match between Sonata and Hiroyoshi Tenzan. Tenzan's out of contention, but he's still going out there trying to put on the best performance he can, even though he's washed. But Sonata, he's doing his thing, having a good performance as well. He's out of contention as well. These two did a good job. And at the end, Sonata ends up going over with the Cold Skull, or the Skull Inn, whichever you want to call it, which is his Dragon Sleeper. And that was the opening tournament match. That was a really good match. And then from that match, we go to Tomohiro Ishii defeating Togi Makabe. This was a slugfest between these two. This might be just as good, maybe, I don't know if I would say better than Wrestle Kingdom 9. It was up there though, where these guys were just beating the shit out of each other, knife edge chops all over the place. It's what you would expect between Makabe and Ishii, to where the whole story is they're just trying to prove who the tougher man is. Really good match from these guys. And Ishii, he ends up hitting a brainbuster on Makabe. Had a tough time getting him up though. So we go from that match to Tama Tonga defeating Bad Luck Fale. This was the worst match on the card, but it was a solid match. Where you had the whole Bullet Club at ringside. And then before the match, Fale walks up to the ring announcer, just knocks the microphone out of his hand. Then Tama Tonga walks up to the ring announcer. Like, Tama and Fale, they look at each other. Then they try to rip off the announcer's sleeves on his jacket. Fale was able to rip off the right sleeve, but Tonga couldn't get the left sleeve. It was hilarious before the match. But this is pretty funny. They were teasing Fale getting an easy win on Tama Tonga, but Tama Tonga tried to trick him. But Fale kicks out. So Fale ended up launching Tama Tonga onto the rest of the Bullet Club at one point. And from that, you had a solid match between these two. Nothing great, but it's enough to get you by. Where you're thinking, that was solid. So Tama Tonga ends up hitting the gun stun for the 3 count. And after the match, you had good sportsmanship between the two, showing that there's no tension between these guys, so no possibility of Bullet Club splitting. So we go from that to the co-main event, Haruki Goto defeating Naomichi Marufuji. This was a great match between these two, because I knew I got what I expected out of this match, where you knew Marufuji was gonna bring it, and I knew Goto was gonna bring it. Just really good counters. I'm still trying to figure out why Goto was not using the Shoten Kai. But is it a ban move? Did he just decide one day, I'm not gonna stop using it altogether, or whatever the case, he ends up hitting the Ushigoroshi. Marufuji tries to hit the Shuri, but Goto ends up getting him in a sleeper hold, and as Marufuji begins to fade, nails the GTR for the 3 count. So Goto ends up going to the finals. Actually, no. Goto has a chance in the finals should Tanahashi and Okada hit a draw. So let's see what happens. So then we get to the main event, the match I was most hyped about, and it did not disappoint. The Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Like, these guys just don't have a bad match. I can't think of a bad match either one of these guys have had in the time they've wrestled each other. Like, Wrestle Kingdom 7 was great. 9 was phenomenal. Oh, the match they had in Invasion Attack 3 months after Wrestle Kingdom 7, that was great as well. So I can't name you a bad Wrestle Kingdom match between these guys. So with that being said, this match, these guys were just going all out with each other. You had Tanahashi working over the knee throughout most of the match. Okada trying to fight through it. Every time Okada tried to hit the Rainmaker, Tanahashi would always find an answer. Tanahashi would try to hit a Rainmaker a few times himself, but Okada did not let him hit the Rainmaker. So Tanahashi would spam a bunch of sling blades and shit. He would put him in a Texas Cloverleaf a few times, but Okada would reach the ropes. And then at the end, when Tanahashi hit another sling blade, he goes to the top rope, hits a high fly flow, back-to-back high fly flows, and as he's pinning Okada, 1, 2, Okada kicks out, and the time limit expires. This was just great. Like, this is why I love New Japan Pro Wrestling, is that the story is just told in the ring. You don't need any of that extra garbage that you see on WWE. Like, none of that. Like, these guys just went out there and put on a wrestling clinic. And that's what New Japan's all about. So, and the draw allows Haruki Goto to advance to the B block. I mean, not a B block, but to win the A block. Steiner line. But this was just this was the best show that the A block ended up putting out. Really proud of the A block for going all out with this one. This doesn't get any better. So, Haruki Goto is your winner of the A block with 12 points. Okada and Tanahashi tied for 11 points. Bad Luck Fale and Naomichi Marufuji tied with 10. Then you have Tama Tonga, Sanada, Ishii, and Makabe with 8 points, while Tenzan finished last with 4 points. So overall, I'm going to give this show a 9.5 out of 10. Like, this was the best show of the G1, hands down, that I've seen. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow's G1 show might end up being a better show. Maybe, maybe not. You never know. So, from that, we move on to day 18, the final day for the B block. And this was a great one. This was a great show as well. I'd say it's tied with day 15. Or was it 13? Where you had that, let's see. No. It was 13. That was an amazing show where you had Ishii and Okada putting on a 5-star clinic. But from that, we get Tomoaki Honma defeating Yuji Nagata. This was a good match between the two, where Honma was being Honma, and it was good to see him get the win, hitting the Kokeshi off the top rope. Yuji Nagata, he can still put on a good performance for his age. So it was to be expected that it would be as good as it was, 3.5 out of 5. But I wish they didn't job out Yano, because I really didn't see the reason why they need to job to Yano. That just didn't make any sense. And speaking of Yano, he ends up going over on Yoshihashi. Yep. Just skip that match. Like all the Yano matches of the G1 this year. And probably last year and the year before. Then we get Evil defeating Katsuyori Shibata. This was a really good match between the two. And this may end up setting up Evil getting a shot at the Never Openweight Championship of Shibata. Really looking forward to seeing where they're going to go if they go that route. Because I love to see these guys get a few minutes longer in the ring. Because I think these guys could put on a really good match. Better than what they already put. So, Evil with a series of counters ended up hitting the STO for the 3 count. And from that, we get to Katsuhiko Nakajima defeating Unbreakable Michael Elgin. And this was a great match. Yeah, Nakajima working over the shoulder of Elgin. Then he would often switch to the knee of Michael Elgin a little bit. Elgin just hitting a barrage of offense. He would hit a bunch of buckle bombs, some crazy lariats, a nasty roaring elbow and spinning back fist. I mean, this match was stiff as hell. And they really went out there and put on a great match. So, who knows? Nakajima should be getting a future title shot at the IC Championship. Will he get it? Only time will tell. So I'd like to see these guys fight for the IC title, like around Destruction or King of Pro Wrestling. So let's see what they do. And then you get the main event, Kenny Omega and Tetsuya Naito. This was a 5-star match, just like Okada Tanahashi. Not quite as good, but it's still a match you should go out there and watch if you're pressed for time. But where you had Naito working over the knee of Omega, Omega did a really good job of selling. He had Omega coming back. Just great counters between the two. But at the end, Omega goes over with the One Wing Angel. And he ends up winning the B block. And this is where I have a problem. The match was great. It's just the wrong guy won the B block. You got Naito, who the fans, he's been over with the fans, and correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure he's one of the top draws of New Japan right now. But instead of having Naito win, you have Omega? Huh? What the hell is Gedo smoking? Seriously. What the fuck is this? So Omega, he wins the B block, where him and Naito are at 12 points, but the tie, it's tied, but Omega ended up beating Naito, so that allows him to advance to the finals to meet Goto. So then Elgin, Nakajima, Yano are at 10 points, Evil's at 8, and then you had Homa, Nagata, and Yoshihashi at, what was it? Let me see. 6 points. All of them had 6 points. But back to my problems with Omega winning the B block. Like, how the hell do you have Omega win the B block instead of Naito? The guy that has pretty much drew in a bunch of new fans. Come on, Gedo. What kind of shitty booking is that? Like, fuck logic in putting Naito in the finals and having him win the G1, where you could have him beat Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, to where he can finally get that Wrestle Kingdom moment that he got screwed out of 3 years ago. We're just going to have Omega pretty much win it. So once again, Naito ends up getting screwed. But despite that, I'm going to give this show a 9 out of 10. That was just a great show. The last 3 matches really held it down. But fuck Omega. That was bullshit, man. The fact that he won. So, I'm going to sign off right here. And actually, overall, with these, let's see. 17 was the best one out of the 3. And the worst out of the 3 was day 16, but that was a hell of a show as well. So, overall, I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it probably, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for this stretch of the G1. These guys really closed out on a really strong note. And I know from what I've been going around on Twitter and stuff and other reviews, this was better than last year's G1. In last year's G1, you had Nakamura, AJ, those guys still there. But the fact that they were able to put on a much better show than last year with the talent that they lost speaks volumes about how good New Japan is. So I'm going to go ahead and watch the G1's finals. And as soon as I finish with that, hopefully by tomorrow, I should have the review up for day 19 for you guys. So I'm going to sign off. If you like the video, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe. And I will catch you guys down the road. Peace out.